What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing the second part of What If Damon Was in Dragon Ball. If you guys missed the first part, make sure to click the link up above to check it out. And now without further ado, let's see what happens if I messed around with Dragon Ball. Training under Kami would most likely go as normal for Goku, and I would try my hardest to keep up, even though Goku would definitely slip ahead. Training with Kami would be extremely beneficial for me, as I would be able to sense ki and movements behind me, and I'd try to be as Ultra Instinct as possible. One day, I would probably suggest a hyperbolic time chamber, and while Kami would most likely tell us that there is no need for it, he'd want us to at least go and test it out, so we'd be sent inside. And my god, would it be terrible. Not only is the gravity so much higher in there, but it's really hot and the air is thin, so it would be a big struggle for the both of us. But with both of us training together in there, instead of being by ourselves, I'm pretty sure Goku and I would be able to stay in there much longer than Goku himself did as a kid. We might not stay in there for a whole year, but after training together for a couple of months, we would mostly get used to the room and be able to give it our all during fights. It's also during this time where I'm finally able to use the Kamehameha, and I'm telling you, I would be the happiest man alive finally using that technique. Once Goku and I exit the chamber, we'd train for a little over a year until the next world tournament. Now in terms of strength, Goku is far ahead of where he should be normally. I'd say he is just a little stronger than he was right after defeating King Piccolo in canon, so there is no need for an Ultra Divine Water here. As for me, I would currently be the strongest human on the planet, with me being above even Tien in terms of strength and technique. I'd be able to tell this and would be really nervous on how this tournament is going to play out, and hope Tien still becomes a good guy. Kami also wants to cut off Goku's tail so he can restore the moon, but I stop him and tell him that maybe that isn't such a good idea, as Goku would just get weaker if his tail were cut off, and plus we may need his power as a Great Ape down the line, so we should keep it. I think I would be able to convince Kami to keep the tail, but he does still restore the moon to normal. When Goku and I depart Kami's, we make our way to the tournament, and I would probably be the one to replace Man-Wolf this time. Of course, that doesn't mean I'll be fighting Jackie Chun, since Tien and Chaozu would use their magic to change their lottery, and I'd most likely be put up against Panput this time, while Goku faces off against Jackie Chun in the first round. This wouldn't exactly be good news, since now it's going to be even harder to turn Tien into a good guy. Yamcha and Tien have their match as normal, even though I tried my hardest to warn Yamcha, but Tien is just out of his league. Of course, I still have quite a few Senzu beans, so I would just give one to Yamcha to heal him up. Goku and Jackie Chun have their rematch next, and Jackie would be amazed on how far Goku has come, and asks him what kind of training he did for those 3 years. Goku tells him that on top of seeing the world, he also went and trained with God, which really freaks out Jackie. Goku gets his win over Jackie Chun and moves on to face Tien in the next round. The next match plays out as normal, and I defeat Panput with no difficulty, and the second round starts between Goku and Tien. Goku basically beats Tien up pretty bad, and since Tien has no chance, he gets very mad that he lost so easily, and he just leaves with Master Shen. I try to chase after him to tell him to stay and finish up the rest of the tournament, but the three aren't listening and leave anyway. It seems I failed in my mission of making Tien a good guy. Whatever, I could probably go track him down to Roshi and try to get him to join the Sign of Good in the future. It's my turn in the ring again, and this time I'm facing off against Krillin, another one of my best friends, and while he has improved greatly over the years, I've trained with Kami himself, so there's no way he can keep up with me. It would be a very fun match though. The final match would be between me and Goku, and while I know that Goku is much stronger than me, I'm not going to wimp out, and I'm going to try my hardest to win the match. Goku and I fight it out, and it is an immense clash since Goku and I know each other's fighting styles. Of course, even though Goku has the power advantage, I have a unique arsenal of skills, as I could transform into a fly or an ant and run around and knock Goku around while he can't see me. Or I could transform into Goku himself and smack him around with his own tail. Now, this is a long shot, but with me being able to transform into anything at all and shrink or grow myself, I'll say that I am able to deal heavy enough blows and win the tournament. Now remember, Goku isn't going all out either, since he is only using his tournament strength, but still, a win is a win, and I managed to defeat Goku. And to celebrate, everybody would want to go get something to eat. And while I'm starving and would love to, I know we have to wait, as a demon is coming in as we know it. To make sure we're all prepared, I pull out a few Senzu beans and give one to Goku and I so we recover our full strength. Tambourine would soon arrive looking for the Dragon Ball in the tournament roster, but we would be standing in his way, not letting him get either. Goku and I would fight with Tambourine and easily defeat him, but I would be the one to finish him off, since remember, Goku doesn't want to kill his enemies. After defeating Tambourine, I would ask Bulma for the Dragon Radar, and we would all head off to go find King Piccolo. Now eventually we will find Piccolo, but I'd tell everybody to back off, and this is my fight, mainly because I don't want anybody dying, and I can totally handle an old man Piccolo. So Piccolo and I would begin our fight, and while Piccolo is away with his martial arts skills, I can transform and beat him down. And once Piccolo is crippled on the ground, I decide to bust out the move I had Kami teach me, the Mafuba. and I'm able to successfully seal Piccolo away. Of course I would be mad exhausted after this, but hey, I just defeated Piccolo. I would be proud of myself. Of course, this is also really bad since there probably won't be a Piccolo Jr., and that's a huge loss, but maybe there's a way to get another strong Namekian. After being congratulated for defeating Piccolo, Goku and I would return to the lookout and give the jar to Kami. Now with this, Goku and I are free to train as much as we want, and I would have Krillin and Yamcha come up to the lookout to train with Kami as well, so they can get stronger themselves. And now I believe is the perfect time to power up Goku even more. I take Goku into the hyperbolic time chamber, and I explain to him everything I know about the Great Ape transformation, and how he needs to learn to control it so it can be useful in battles. Goku would of course try his hardest, and to get him to transform I could turn into the moon or something and get him to become a Great Ape. Once Goku becomes a Great Ape, I would try my hardest to convince him to snap out of it, and this would most likely take many tries, as the moment I turn back into myself, Goku would revert back to normal as well. But we have as much time as we need, we're in the hyperbolic time chamber. I'll say it takes a couple of months, but eventually I'm able to get Goku to gain complete control of himself in Great Ape, basically at a level of control that Vegeta had in the Saiyan saga. Now with Goku fully mastering his Great Ape form, my next challenge for him is to be able to use this form without actually transforming. That's right, now I'm trying to see if Goku can get the wrathful form similar to Broly. Speaking of Broly, he's still unfortunately on Vampa right now, so one of these days I'm going to have to rescue him before Frieza does. Now of course, I don't exactly know how Broly managed to combine his base form with the wrathful form, but all I would say is just that Goku needs to try and feel the rush of transforming into the Great Ape without actually transforming. I don't think I'd explain it very well, but hey, the two of us would try. Goku tells me he'll try his hardest with this, and I should go back on the outside and join the others training with them. I would leave and meet up with Krillin and Yamcha, and at this point the two of them would be familiar with ki sensing and suppression, so maybe I can teach them a technique to make sure that the humans don't get left in the dust any longer. Fusion. Of course, I am no master at fusion, and me showing them the dance really wouldn't mean much until the two attempt to try it out. Yamcha lowers his power to match Krillin, and the two attempt to fuse, and surprisingly, it kinda works. Of course they had a fat version of a fusion, but hey, they still fused. Kami is extremely impressed on how I know such a divine technique, but I just tell him it was something I've always liked seeing in my dimension. After a few more tries, the two finally get it right and become Krillcha. Krillcha's power is just enormous, with it rivaling even Goku as a Great Ape in its power. Krillcha thanks me for teaching them such a technique, and they want to try their power out on me. And my god, I'm in for a beating. Even with all of my training and transformations, I'm no match for a fusion, and I congratulate the two for mastering it so fast. A few hours later, Goku would also emerge from the time chamber, and we're all blown away to see that he's finally grown up. We're now about the same height. Goku also tells me his height isn't the only thing different about him, and he transforms into the wrathful form, proving that it is indeed possible. Goku is extremely powerful now, and Krillin and Yamcha would want to show off their new technique too. So Krillcha is born once again and battles it out with wrathful Goku. And surprisingly, Goku is no match for them, and vows to train even harder so he can reach this level of power someday. All of us would train hard for a year, with me teaching Goku to fusion dance and the two of us fusing a few times, which would feel super weird, but would be awesome. Now, to get another strong fighter, I suggest to Kami that maybe he should use the Dragon Balls to wish for youth. That way he can keep training with the rest of us and help out in fights, proving himself as the true guardian of Earth. Kami actually really likes this idea, so he goes and collects the Dragon Balls, becoming Young Kami, and he sees a great buff in power. After all of our training, we'd participate in the next world tournament, and even Kami would participate as Shen. Since there are no Chaozu lottery picks this time, the matches would be somewhat normal, with me replacing Tien and King Choppa or someone replacing Piccolo. I would be able to defeat Mecha Tao Pai Pai with no difficulty at all. Goku would marry Chi-Chi, Krillin would defeat his opponent with no problem, and Tien and Yamcha have a great bout, but with Shen taking it away in the end. Now it's time for my third battle with Goku in the tournament, and while I have indeed gotten much more powerful, I'm no match for Goku at this point, and he'd win the match. Shen defeats Krillin in the next match, and he and Goku face off in a finals for a friendly spar, with Goku taking the win, and finally winning a tournament. After the tournament, Goku departs with Chi-Chi, and me and the other humans go back to resume our training and prepare for the invasion of the Saiyans. And that's what would have happened if I showed up and changed some stuff in the original Dragon Ball. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, as I had a blast writing it. I'm going to go off and rest now, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. So, until we meet again guys, see you later.